On to the bonus question here on Hockey Inside Out. The first question we'll talk about is Justin Barron. Will he ever crack this Habs lineup this year? And also, with Mike Matheson in the horizon, who's going to be the odd man out moving forward with the Montreal Canadiens?
Well, the Canadiens give Barron every opportunity to make the team at training camp and during the preseason. I think he played more games than anybody else. They traded Arturi Lehkonen to get him. He's a former first-round pick. I'm sure the Canadiens, when they were Marty St. Louis and his coaching staff, when they were drawing up tentative lineups before the season started, Barron was on it. But he didn't look good during preseason. He didn't play well, and he lost the job. And Arbor Xhekaj took it. He played better than him, and kudos to the Canadiens management for letting the players decide and making the decision on whoever played better in training camp and preseason made the team. And I'm sure it was a bit of a shock to Barron when he was sent down. I think he probably thought he was going to start the season here also after playing games last season with the Canadiens before he got hurt. But it's maybe a bit of a wake-up call for him. But injuries are going to happen. There's going to be injuries throughout the season, so I'm sure at some point he will end up back in Montreal. As far as Matheson coming back, I think Kovacevic is the most likely guy to sit in his place. He was made a healthy scratch there a couple of games ago for the first time this season. He's played well. Kovacevic's played really well. For a guy they picked up off of waivers from Winnipeg, he's been pretty solid. But somebody has to sit. And at this point, I think it's him. If somebody's going to go down to Laval, I think it would probably be him. I don't think they're going to put Wideman on waivers and risk the possibility of losing him going down. So I think Kovacevic's the most likely guy to sit when Matheson comes back.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to put Kovacevic on waivers just because they would have to do that in order to send him down. I don't think they want to lose him. He's been too solid, right? I think he might not be part of like the future, but he's definitely a good transitional player through this rebuild. So I'm not sure what the answer is there outside of, maybe they let Arbor Xhekaj go down to the Laval a little bit, get some confidence as a number one guy down there. Who knows? But Justin Barron, I think he'll get time, but it's going to be after trade deadline. Injuries happen for sure, but the Canadiens are pretty loaded right now in terms of bodies on defense. It would have to be a few injuries before Barron gets in. But being a right-handed shot helps. I think that'll get him, first call-up status out of Laval. And there's going to be a veteran moved at the deadline, like pretty much for sure. Whether it's David Savard or Joel Edmondson or Chris Wideman, I think one or even two of those guys will be moved this season just because you look at who's playing well and who's kind of struggling a little bit. And I think it's the veterans struggling more than anybody else.
Well, for me, the only chance will be in the event of a number of guys get injured on the blue line for him to get an opportunity to play. Because the way that they're playing as a group back there right now is, like we talked about a number of times, is really, really exceptional as far as how they're blending, how they're playing overall as a group. When Matheson does get a chance to come back in, Kovacevic is one that I think would end up having to come out of the lineup and and do a little bit of watching. But the bottom line right now is they have a good solid group. They're playing well. Why disrupt anything that's going well in that department? And like I said, the only opportunity would be with a number of guys that go down through injury. Then he would get the call. Bonus somewhat as a right-hand shot, but I think the management works on the premise of you better earn your opportunity. There's going to be nothing given, and when you earn it, you'll be given your chance. And right now, there's not a lot of chances that changes are going to happen back there right now.
Yeah, and the salary cap factors in everything. Waivers factors in, so you wonder, the Canes have been carrying 15 forwards and 6 defensemen. When Matheson comes back, do they look at one point maybe carrying 8 defensemen, having 2 healthy scratches on defense? It'd be interesting to see what happens moving forward. But there's a lot of balls that the GMs have to juggle in the air when it comes to waivers, salary cap, and everything else when it comes to making any kind of roster moves.
Andrew, final thoughts?
I think there's just a plethora of options on the Canadiens' defense right now, and I think that's just a great thing for the team. It's just something that we haven't seen in a very long time is having all these young players, and some might not make it right away. We talked about Justin Barron as somebody who was expected to make the jump this season, and now he won't because other guys have leapfrogged him. Now, whether that lasts forever, it may not. He may have a great developmental season in Laval and come out really strong halfway through the season or next season. But it's great to have guys making that jump.
Some fans might have been wondering why Kent Hughes traded Romanov at the draft. We're seeing
now
why.
We know.
They have so many young defensemen coming up. These kids, I mentioned the salary cap. These kids are cheaper right now than what Romanov would have been moving forward. And there's a higher ceiling for Jordan Harris and Goulet than there was for Romanov. And Jack-Eye provides a physical presence that Romanov had with more offensive ability. So you see now why Kent Hughes figured that Romanov was expendable and why he was able to trade him and get Kirby Dach in exchange.
Well, that'll do it for this bonus episode here for Hockey Inside Out. Don't forget to send us your comments and questions, and we'll talk about it on a future episode. And also, check out the YouTube page for Hockey Inside Out and like that as well. And don't forget to sign up for the MontrealGazette.com/newsletters for the Hockey Inside Out stuff that comes out every day. And if you want full episodes of Hockey Inside Out and the bonus content, go check it out because we have everything locked and loaded for the entire season. On behalf of Stu, Andrew, and Rick, wish you a great week. We'll speak to you soon. Bye for now.